Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel once again. In today's video, we are going to be focusing on PyQGIS Boilerplate, and then we are going to be learning how to break down the boilerplate one line at a time. For those of you dipping your toes in Python, you should fear not, because I'm going to walk you guys through every line of the code so that by the end of this video, the code isn't as mysterious as it will seem now. And I'm going to do the same thing throughout this PyQGIS series, so that by the end of this series, you will be able to navigate Python like a pro. When you begin a PyQGIS standalone script, there tends to be a standard structure or boilerplate you'll often find yourself typing out. It sets as a foundation for all your PyQGIS standalone projects. Now I get it. Typing out the same structure time and time again can be tedious, but in our next video, we will explore how to set up vscode specifically for QGIS, optimizing it with features like autocomplete and linting. And the cherry on top will be learning how to craft code snippets so that we wouldn't be typing the boilerplate over and over for every project that we'll be doing in PyQGIS. That way we can bypass the repetitive typing and get straight to the fun stuff for all our future projects. Alright, enough chit chat. Let's dive straight into it. So as you can see now, because of the way I have set up my code snippet, whenever I type PyQGIS, I'm given an autocomplete option. So when I press OK, I then have my PyQGIS boilerplate. So this is what we are going to be learning in our next video. So we'll be taking this Python code line by line, so that by the end of this video, hopefully you would understand what every line does. So in the first line, we are importing the necessary classes from QGIS. The QGIS application is the main QGIS application class, and the QGIS vector layer helps in working with vector data layers like shapefiles. In our next line, we are setting up the path to where our QGIS is installed on our machine. So you can replace this particular string with the actual path where your QGIS is installed on your machine. The next argument tells QGIS to make all to use all the default paths. In that way, it helps your script know where all the QGIS functions and features are located. So in our next line, we are creating a variable called QGIS, and in our variable, we are initializing a new QGIS application. The first argument is an empty list, so usually we wouldn't be using it that much, but there are times where you would want to write a command line argument in the list. It's not something that we'll be using very much, but whenever we use it, you learn more about it in the future. And then the next argument, which is false, tells QGIS to disable the QGIS GUI functionality, that is the graphic user interface functionality, which means that our script will run without displaying the standard QGIS window. We wouldn't be using the map canvas and then the menu, the toolbar features and all that. So all the GUI interface, wouldn't be using it in our script. So whenever you would want to use it in your script, you make sure that instead of false, it is set to true. With this line, we are telling our QGIS application instance to initialize or load all the necessary providers. So that is all the scripts, all the algorithms that QGIS has that enables us to do most of our geospatial analysis. With this line, we are sort of loading all those providers in our script. You can think of it as starting up the engine of QGIS in our script. Under this line, we'll be writing most of our code. So the final line here, after all the operations that we'll be writing here, after all that is done, this line ensures that QGIS application is properly closed and all its resources are released from memory. That way, we don't slow down our machine. So that wraps up our introduction to QGIS Boilerplate. I hope you found this video insightful. Stay tuned for our next video on how to configure QGIS on VS Code to get autocomplete. So an example of autocomplete would be when I type QGIS I get autocomplete of QGIS. right now you might not have the same functionality. So in the next video we'll be talking about things like that. It's a huge help with autocomplete. It makes development and writing code way easier. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing in our next video. And we'll look at the formatting and linting and all that. So thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for our next video and keep coding and exploring. Bye.